This is the Parra podcast, proudly brought to you by major sponsor Parramatta Leagues Club, home of the Eels, and also home of Jack's Pale Ale.
Welcome to another episode of the Parra Cave podcast. And now over to your host, Troy Warner, broadcasting live from the world-famous Parra Cave.
And yes, hello and welcome back to the Parra Cave podcast. Troy Warner here. It is a game day preview podcast, and yes, today is game day and something a little bit different. As you know, I have released these sort of game preview podcasts a couple of days before the actual game, but today, due to whatever's gone on during the week, I have decided that I'm going to release it on game day. So it is a game day preview, and it is the Panthers taking on the Eels. Or I should say it the right way actually, the Parramatta Eels taking on the Penrith Panthers at CommBank Stadium, as the Parramatta Eels are the home side, even though the Panthers are playing out at CommBank Stadium for a couple of years with their stadium being built. Now, I do drive past that stadium a couple of times, and they have completely knocked down the Western Grandstand at the moment, and there is a little bit of the Eastern Grandstand gone, but who really cares about that one, because that's Penrith Stadium, and I'm a Parramatta supporter. So, anyway, Parramatta versus the Panthers, CommBank Stadium, Sunday, 4:05pm, which is today. Cannot wait. I will be out there at CommBank Stadium, so if you see me out and about, come and say good day. I will be actually at Parramatta Leagues Club beforehand, and I will be watching the NRLW game between the Eels and the Warriors, which is on beforehand. Now, it is on at over there in New Zealand, so a tough road trip for the ladies, and it is on at 11:50am. So if you're able to, get down to the Leagues Club before the NRL game, because also before the NRL game is a New South Wales Cup game as well. So you come and check those ones out, which should be great to watch. So plenty of footballing action going on. So I will be at the Leagues Club there, and at 11:50 watching the Eels defeat the Warriors, hopefully in the NRL. But back to this game, the first grade in the NRL. And look, let's just go through the team list now. As of Saturday night, when recording this podcast, it is no changes as to what has been brought out on Tuesday at Tuesday team list day. Now, there has been word through social media, however, a few changes in the Panthers team, with some of the Origin players not playing. Liam Martin, Brian To'o and Dylan Edwards are out, and according to sources, the Nathan Cleary and Isaiah Yeo are still on an extended bench and likely to play. So I wonder whose spots they will take. So a few of the Panthers players out there. But if we go through the team lists, and we'll start off with the Parramatta Eels, Isaiah Iongi at fullback. The wingers are Zach Lomax, Josh Adokar, Jordan Samrani and Sean Russell as centres. Dylan Brown, Dean Hawkins at the half and 5'8". Jack Williams and Junior Paulo are the front rowers. Congratulations to Junior. He plays his 200th Eels first grade game, and of course he joins the likes of Nathan Highmarsh, Brett Kenny, Luke Burt, Ray Price, Nathan Kalis, Tim Manor, Peter Sterling, Bob O'Reilly, Mick Cronin, Clint Gutherson, Daniel Wagner, Mark Laurie, and the great man Fui Moi Moi, who have played 200 games, 200 first grade games for the Parramatta Eels. So congratulations, Junior. Joey Lussick is named at hooker. Charlie Geimer and Kitione Kautoga are the second rowers. Jermaine Hopgood locks the scrum. On the bench, newcomer to the Parramatta Eels, Talon De Silva, Dylan Walker, Matt Dury and Sam Tuivati comes back into the side after injury. And for the Panthers, now this is a team that has been named as of Tuesday. Dane Laurie, Tom Jenkins and Paul Alamotti are the wingers. Isaac Tungo and Casey McLean are the centres. Blaze Talangi returns back to CommBank Stadium to take on his former club at 5'8". Brad Schneider at halfback. Moses Leota, Lindsay Smith are the front rowers. Mitch Kenny is the hooker. Luke Garner, Isaiah Papali'i and Matt Eisenhuth locks the scrum. Jack Cole, Liam Henry, Luron Patea and Maverick Geyer are the interchange bench. So, and the referee is Peter Goff. Now, the interesting thing about Peter Goff is the last two games, he has refereed Penrith versus Parramatta games in 2024-2025, and Penrith have got the victories in both of those games. So let's hope it's not third time lucky and him refereeing a Parramatta-Penrith game and Penrith getting the victory. In 2024, it was 36-34 to the Panthers, and of course this year it was 18 points to 10. Victory to the Panthers. Now, since 1998, when the NRL started, they've played 54 times. The Panthers have won 29 and the Eels 25. The Panthers, look, they are making a late season charge at the moment because they have won 4 out of their last 5. The Eels have won 2 out of their last 5. Now, they have been playing better football. One of those losses was against the Panthers and the Bulldogs and the Dragons a couple of weeks ago as they had the bye last week. Now, the position on the ladder, well, look, for these Battle of the West games, it does not really matter where you are on the ladder because at the moment, the Parramatta Eels find themselves in 15th position on 16 points, and the Panthers find themselves in 9th spot on 21 points. Now, obviously there's been a couple of games being played already this weekend, including victories to the Sharks and the Roosters, and so it doesn't matter where you are on the ladder. These two sides really step it up and play against each other like it is a semi-final, if you like, because they want to win. They want to win the Battle of the West. They want to be the number one team in the West. Now, look, a lot of people would say that the Panthers are the team of the West, and look, rightfully so. They have won 4 premierships in a row. They have played in 5 grand finals in a row. So, yeah, rightfully so. Parramatta, they do have a good record against Penrith, especially in, I guess you could say, the regular rounds of seasons. 2022, when they made the grand final against the Panthers, they beat them in the regular season twice, 22 points to 20 and 34 points to 10. So they do have a good record against the Panthers in the regular season. Just not of late, though, with the Panthers winning the last 3 games in a row against these two sides. Look, pretty good crowds have been attending these games at CommBank Stadium. 18,852 last time, 2 games ago. Last round against the Panthers, it was 21,282. Probably expecting a little bit more than that, I think, at Combank Stadium for this game. As this is a Parramatta Eels members home game, I think there will be more there. And as I said, just with the Battle of the West, I think these two sides will probably want to turn on a good show, and I think there will be more than 21,000 there. I don't think it will be 30,000, but that would be ideal. That would be awesome, but I don't think it will be. And just because Parramatta are down at 15th spot on the ladder, I do think there will be a decent crowd at this stadium. Now, the difference between these two sides at the moment, points scored, Panthers 322, Eels 287. So the Panthers have scored about 40 more points than the Eels. The defense is probably the issue for the Eels with 390 points. Points conceded, 319 for the Panthers as well. Completion rates are about the same, 78% for the Eels, 79% for the Panthers, and the Panthers have a quicker average play the ball at 3.35 seconds compared to the Parramatta's 3.61 seconds. Now, if we look at some matchups and how I think this game will be won, well, look, it will be interesting to see how Dylan Brown goes again at 5'8". We'll just have to wait and see how that happens. His days in a Parramatta Eels jersey are coming to an end. Dean Hawkins is a halfback. Now, we have seen him play really well since he has stepped in for Mitchell Moses. But this is an opportunity for Dylan Brown to get one over Blaze Talangi. Dylan is more experienced than Blaze, and more experienced than Brad Schneider as well. So he is probably the most experienced half in this game. So other than Nathan Cleary, obviously, but he will, as this team is named for the Panthers, he is the most experienced half in this game. So it'll be up to him to really step this up. We haven't seen the best of Dylan Brown this season, and I'll be honest there, we have seen a little glimpses here and there, but nothing like his 2022 form, and I'd like to think that probably as his days in the Parramatta Eels jersey comes to an end, that he will be giving 110% each and every game, and hopefully we can see a little bit of that season 2022 form. Isaiah Iongi, he is playing against his old club, and we all know how players like or love playing against their old clubs. Again, they seem to step it up as well, just to sort of, I guess you could say, rub it in the face of those teams who didn't really, or who either got rid of you or you have left. You could just say, well, there you go, I told you so, you should have kept me. But that was probably a choice of Isaiah's to leave the Panthers, as he was stuck behind Dylan Edwards in first grade. And look, what a find, I guess you could say, he has been for the Parramatta Eels in the NRL, because he is leading the Parra Cave podcast Eels Player of the Year award at the moment, and he is just getting better and better each and every game. Look, he does have a few mistakes in his game, but he is only, about 19 games into his first grade career, or so. So, look, I don't mind that, because you're only going to learn from those mistakes with that experience. So, I applaud that, and he's going to try things, and I think we've just seen a lot of people, I guess you could say, bagged Jason Riles for letting Clint Gutherson move on, and a rookie fullback come in, but I think people have slowly warmed to Isaiah Iongi at fullback, and he will be one of the players to watch there in this game. Zach Lomax, well, he was returning from Origin, so he will have a point to prove in this game after New South Wales losing the series, as will the Isaiah Yeo and Nathan Cleary for Penrith, who also played in that Origin game as well. They will all have a point to prove after losing that Origin game. He will obviously be an attacking weapon for the Eels. Some high kicks from Dean Hawkins, crossfield, no doubt you will see for him. Josh Adokar, he is closing in on 150 tries. He currently sits on 149 tries. Good chance that he will score his 150th against the Panthers at home. I really hope he does. Champion player across a few clubs now. Canterbury, the Melbourne Storm, and obviously the West Tigers as well. Now Parramatta. So to score 150 tries in the NRL is a massive feat. So a good chance he will score that as well. The forward battle, well, that's going to be a good one there. Jack Williams, Junior Paolo up against Moses Leota and Lindsay Smith as well. Moses Leota and Lindsay Smith, representative players. Junior Paolo, a former representative player. Jack Williams, he has had a great season coming over from Cronulla. So hopefully he can keep up that form as well. One of the most interesting points or in this game that will come up will be the inclusion of Talon Da Silva from the Tigers. How will he be used now that Dylan Walker's on the bench as well? But Talon Da Silva is a young player, and it'll be really good to see him in a blue and gold jersey and see how he goes in this game. I think the key for Parramatta is they need to get off to a good start. I say it each and every week. If you get off to a good start in games, then you tend to go on and win these games. Defence is key as well. If they can limit their mistakes and also the penalties and ruck infringements and the like, if they can just go with Penrith for a lot of this game and then go along and win it, then I'm sure they can. I think last game they played, I think that was the case. They went a long way with Penrith. They actually scored the first try through Sean Russell in the previous account, so you thought this was going okay. Casey McLean for the Panthers scored their first try. It was only 6-4 at half time, so they went a long time with the Panthers. Brian Toto, who's not playing in this game, sealed that victory in the 73rd minute with a try, and Nathan Cleary converting now. With Nathan Cleary's groin injury, I don't think he will be goal kicking, so that could become an issue for the Panthers. I don't know who will be doing the goal kicking for them. Probably Paul Alamotti, I think. He's been a goal kicker in the past for the Panthers, so I dare say he may take up that duty. So sharpshooter in Jack Lomax, you'd probably prefer him to be goal kicking for you, but I dare say Paul Alamotti, he won't let you down. He will do a good job, but it definitely won't be Nathan Cleary because we haven't seen him goal kick for a long time. In terms of a score prediction, now, look, I forget what I said on the Talking Parra podcast on Tuesday night, which you can watch on Facebook Live each and every week at 8:15 p.m. I forget what I said there. I think I may have said 26-24. I think I may have said a bold prediction in Dean Hawkins to kick a 2-point field goal to win the game for Parramatta. Look, I hope it's not that close. I hope Parramatta can get a decent score on the board and get a decent victory, but I will take a 1-point victory if need be, just to beat the Panthers. I forget who I said my first try scorer would be. I think I may have said Isaiah Iongi as the first try scorer. I'll have to go back and double check that one, or check out the socials of the Talking Parra podcast on Instagram. My ugly mug will be on there with my predictions, so I think I said Isaiah Iongi. I'll have to go back and even check that one out as well. But that's my predictions for the game and score predictions, first try scorer, and also a bold prediction. Let me know what yours are in the comments on the game day post that I will put up on Instagram. Also, if you check out the Instagram posts that I did a guess the score competition as well, thanks to the corner post and also grip socks as well. They are supplying a few prizes. If you can guess the score correctly in the game, then you will go into the draw to win yourself a pair of grip socks and a $20 gift card thanks to the corner post. And look, it will be one entry per person. Entries will close at kickoff. If there are multiple people who guess the score, then it will go into a randomizer and then a name will be drawn as a winner. So, look, check out that post on Instagram. Check out the Parra Cave podcast on Instagram, and you can enter there on the post that I did there. So, good luck with that one as well, and thank you Corner Post, and thank you Grip Socks for supplying those prizes. We will be doing that each and every week from now on in till the end of the season, so stay tuned to the Instagram page for details on where you can put your guesses. Look, as I said, I'm really looking forward to this game. Being a Parramatta fan living in Penrith, these are my favourite games of this year. My real favourites are when Parramatta do play Penrith at Penrith. Being a Parramatta fan living in Penrith, don't have a lot of success there, but as I said in a video, the one game that does stand out is 2022 Penrith Stadium. I'm not too sure what it was called back then, but it was, I think, Penrith Stadium, and it was a victory to the Parramatta Eels, 22 points to 20. Blue Bet, that's what it was called back then. It was 22 points to 20. It was round number 9. It was a few days after my birthday. Dylan Brown, Clint Gutherson, Ryan Madison scored tries on that day. Reid Marnie also got a penalty try as well. Mitchell Moses kicked 3 out of 4. And it was great to get the victory at Penrith. I just remember the gold jerseys that we wore that night. Ryan Madison, big left foot step, I think it was. I think Dylan Brown's try was off a bomb by memory. I think the ball bounced, and I think he ended up getting it and scoring the try. So, yeah, that was a great night. And the other thing that makes it special, I guess, is I get to catch up with a lot of my mates that I don't see for a while. My long-term mates that have moved away from the area now, and we all catch up for a boys' night, boys' weekend. And that was the case then, so that makes it a little bit extra special as well. So that game really stands out. In terms of other games that I can remember between the Panthers and the Eels, look, just offhand, I mean, there was the 2021 semi-final, 8-6 to Penrith. There's a bit of controversy in that one. Let me tell you about the trainer, I think it was, stopping the game. At one stage there, Mitchell Moses got held back, chasing a kick, I think it was. But look, that's all in the past now. There was a cracker of a game at the what was then the new Olympic Stadium, but it was Stadium Australia. Parramatta won 40 points to 4 in 2001, and then 2002 at Parramatta, it was 64 points to 6. Look, that would be great to see, wouldn't it? 64 points on the Panthers. Look, I don't think that's going to happen in this game, but that would be awesome. There was also back in 1990, I'm going to say 1998, I think it was. It was at Parramatta. It was in... I'm just looking here, sorry. No, it was not. It was 2000 at the Sydney Football Stadium. That was at... that was a semi-final, as the season was earlier that year. It was in August. The semi-finals were in August because the Olympic Games in Sydney. So that was a victory to the Parramatta Eels, 28 points to 10. That was 2000. That was a great victory there. But look, there's been so many. I can't remember them all. But let me know what your favourite Parramatta Penrith games have been. Look, I'm sure a lot of you Penrith supporters that listen to this podcast would say the 2022 Grand Final. But, hey, why wouldn't you? I'd probably say the same thing if Parramatta won that game as well. Here's an interesting one. The first game that these two sides played back in 1967 when Penrith joined the comp, it was a victory to Parramatta, 25 points to 2 at Cumberland Oval. There you go. Look, I'm just going on and on and on here. I'm probably boring you. I apologise about that one. But that's the game day preview done and dusted for Penrith and Parramatta. As I said, I will be out at the Leagues Club watching the NRLW game. Come and say good day. Let's talk some Parramatta Eels football or rugby league in general, or even if you're just a listener of the Talking Parra podcast or the Parra Cave podcast, come and say good day. There'll be a few of the Talking Parra lads there as well, so be a great little morning there watching the NRLW. So I will see you there. If not, I will see you at CommBank Stadium for the Battle of the West, Parramatta and Penrith. The Parra Cave podcast, by the fan, for the fans. Go Parra! Alan, how you going, mate? Are you a Parra Cave podcast listener?
I am, bro.
Okay.
It's a great podcast. Everyone tune in. Parra.
Go Parra.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Parra Cave Podcast. See you next time.